Hey guys, we are back. So, a little update. I forgot to really record, but got the AN fittings in, routed them down, chopped them off. I forgot to tighten up this. I think this is where my whistle's coming from in my motor, because like you can hear it. So I think it's just air seeping past that, creating that whistle noise. I did forget to tighten this up to take it for a test drive. So that is 100% on me. But we'll get that tightened up. But anyway, we're gonna have to take this off again. So today I ordered the Bison system. Right now, oh my god, it's gonna be a pain. But anyway, we're gonna follow this oil line. We are going to replace this oil line. We are probably going to take off. Oh yeah, there's like seepage back there. So we're gonna take off this valve cover, and as you can see, there's seepage. We're gonna take off the valve cover, clean everything up, take off that plastic guard, look at the headers. I'm gonna tighten it down. I am probably gonna lift up on the car. Bank 2 for the oxygen sensor is not reading. The short-term fuel trim is really high. Could be because of the tune, but I doubt it. So I think this thing needs an O2 sensor. So I'm going to order an O2 sensor for this car. We have an exhaust camshaft code for the circuit, bank 2. So bank 2 is this one right here. This is the exhaust side. This is the intake side. So today we are going to pull apart the system, get down in there. I have a valve shim kit that I bought as well, so we'll do the valve shim timing. Just take a feeler gauge, which I bought these diesel feeler gauges, which the sizes in there are some for this car that will work to check the clearances and whatnot. So that is another thing that we'll be doing today. Reorganized my cart. It's pretty fucking messy. Bought this to put the bolts on and everything like that, but yeah, a lot of snap-on junk. My girlfriend got me this and this, so pretty cool, nice little thing she got me. So yeah, we're just going to find a nice little spot to put that up. It did say to take off this, I believe this needs to get taken off for the cabin air filter. So I'll have to figure out where to get that. I'm sure I could snake it out with the valve cover and not have to take that out. But I'll watch a YouTube video on it, make sure. But I will be following the Bison system. So the lady, wonderful lady, awesome person, honestly. You know, checks up on me, talks with me, very concerned about just, you know, her job, and just is amazing when it comes down to customer support. Probably the best customer support I've ever had with dealing with somebody in terms of, you know, like making sure everything's right, getting me the right parts, you know, making sure everything goes smoothly, you know, anything that I have any problems with or questions or whatever, she's always there to make sure and take care of whatever I got going on. So yeah, today so this is the BMW. There's our oil cooler that we mounted. It used to be underneath the oil cooler lines and everything like that, so I don't see any residual oil. I have to get a flashlight and check, but yeah. So this is the car. Make little update videos of me tearing it apart and whatnot. Yeah, I don't see any residual oil coming out of there. I think that's just from the motor. Somewhere it's leaking. Maybe valve cover, or not valve cover, but oil pan gasket or something. So I'll have to do that. There's a lot of maintenance I'd like to do to this car. It's old, 221K on it. 221 something. So valve adjustment, Vanos, and I'd like to eventually pull this car apart, pull the motor out of it, get it on a stand, tear it down. The head, you know, just clean up the head, cams, everything, get all new hardware, put it all back together, do a bottom end, in it, just get new pistons, hone it, clean it all up. If I gotta send the block out to get honed and decked or whatever, I'll do that. But just get everything reliability wise, because it does burn a little bit of oil. Like I said, it's a higher mileage car. It's been romped on. You know, it's you can't expect it to last forever. So, but doing the maintenance and taking care of the car and doing these types of things will prolong it. I'll probably run this thing to like at least 320,000. Probably get another 100K out of this thing as long as I treat it good and just take care of any issues that come up. So, but yeah, there's the BMW. Thank you. Get down and do the Vanos system. So I made a little bit earlier, just kind of showing up, wrapping up the oil clear lines and whatnot. Right now we're gonna take off this really shitty fake ECS. I think it's legit carbon fiber. It's just like a fake kit, and it kind of sucks because it doesn't really sit on there that well. But anyway, so we're going to tear apart this one-man crew right now. Pop that off. Let's hit that right there. I'm gonna take this completely unplugged. And then this is your harness for your electric fans. I think it's a T20 right here. And then I gotta take, there's a zip tie down there because it's an aftermarket radiator that doesn't fit, unfortunately. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Whatever. Anyway, so we're going to chop that now that that's cut. And then, like I said, it's a T20, I think it is. Maybe T25. So I'll sit down the camera real quick. Also got this really cool light assembly right here. So we'll hook that up in a minute here. If it's a little loose. Nope. T25. Okay, and then I also bought some Mac tools. It's a little bit holder and a ratchet. So you got your thumb, you can hold it in, you can spin it. Pretty cool. So take this. I have to set the camera down because I just don't have another person to help record the video, but you see where it's at. Set the camera a little bit better. This one's a really long one, so I saved my other ones, but this is the longest one because it goes really far into the plastic. That I think also holds like the condenser. It goes through the condenser into the radiator. So this long one, you'll get maybe through. I think there's 3 total. So now that that's loose, put this in our bucket. Now, the next step so I bought this one. This is for the crank, or not for the crank, but for your water pump. I also bought the crank or the water pump holder tool. It works. It's kind of a cheap one, so it's not the best. It doesn't line up perfectly with the holes. It does do the job. Oh my god, I just smashed my finger. But okay, I gave up on using this tool. It is utterly useless. Don't ever buy the eBay one. Actually get the other one. The holes are like completely misaligned. Maybe it's for a different car. Another thing you can do is take a long screwdriver, go right here. So, as long as you can see that good. But get it underneath the bolt against the hub and hold it. Crack it loose. And it'll spin right off. But as you can see, that is loose. So I just spin it out, and I'm going to need 2 hands for this, so I'm going to set down the camera real quick. I usually set that completely down on the ground, and then this, you don't have to really fight it too bad. It comes out pretty easy. Maybe the fan clutch will be easier to remove. Like that, there we go. I think I've had the most luck when I rotate this thing like sideways like that. So I always get this out sideways like that. So it comes out, set that up against the car. Careful not to damage your radiator. Fan clutch is out. So the next step in this would be to take the, well, we can go 2 ways of this. I could take out the, man, there's not a good spot for this, is there? Probably just on the ground. So take out the strut brace. Mine is a Racing Dynamics. I think there's an OEM one, but they'll differ. But it seems like you just take out those 2 bolts on either side, or 1 bolt, I should say, bolt with a nut on each side. Pop that off. Get that cross member for the PCV system. So it's a PCV hose that goes in your airbox. As you can see right there. Those come off really easy. You just pry on it with a, no, I wouldn't say pry, but right here, there's like those little nubs. Should just push on it. It'll release the tabs on either side. You can get in there with like a pry bar or something, or not a pry bar, but like a little screwdriver and kind of work its way up. But I'm sure it won't be too bad. I will have to watch a video to see though if I do have to take out the airbox area. I'm sure that it comes out pretty easy. I don't know. I'll have to watch a video on it, make sure and see. But yeah, that'll be the next thing. There's another thing back here that said to look for. There's like a check valve or a check ball. I think it'll be easier once I remove this, because this is a bigger cover underneath the valve cover, to actually show you guys. As you can see, so this is a cover, the coil packs over. This is the actual valve cover. So once I remove that, it should free up a lot of area back there to kind of see again. But there is supposed to be a check valve. I think it's for the Vanos system. I could be wrong, but it does look like oil's coming from there as well. I won't know until I pull this off. I was told that the valve cover was done not that long ago. Obviously, we're going to be doing it again. We bought L-ring stuff, so if you don't know about L-ring, because I did some research on this, L-ring is the original manufacturer for BMW's gaskets. So you could go through them and spend 20 bucks or whatever for a valve cover, or you could spend like $120 or whatever the hell it is for the markup for a genuine BMW. They are both the same. There is no difference, right? One is just the original manufacturer's equipment. One is the original equipment equipped with the car. So L-ring is the original manufacturer for BMW. I highly recommend you go with those guys. Instead, save yourself a lot of money for the same product. Obviously, if it was a weird name brand like Last Brand or something like that, probably wouldn't go with those guys, you know what I mean? Little, you know, there's some security in buying OEM quality stuff. You know it fits, you know it works, whatever. So yeah, set the camera up, hopefully kind of see it, yeah. I'll probably grab my shorties. It's easier. Oh, knock size down. So a 7 mil maybe? It's gonna be an 8 mil. Okay. Okay, remove our coolant cap. This is the expansion chamber that it's sitting on. So, looks good there. Probably a 17, I would guess. Bolt in the back, maybe bigger. 17 is on the money. Now that that's loose, we can do it by hand. Don't know if this is a necessity to take off, but it will definitely be easier rather than trying to work around it and you know, all that fun jazz. It's never fun to do stuff when you have limited space, especially on this BMW. I come from American-made cars, so a lot easier to work on in my opinion. A lot less stuff in the way. If you have money, don't buy one of these cars. They are hard to take care of. I'll definitely say that. So if you don't got money and you don't have any kind of experience with mechanic, oh, we'll replace that. Obviously, if it's bound to break, oh yeah, look at that. It is rusty in there. That is disgusting. So we'll get new ones. The clip is also, I think, broken. Yeah, the clip is also broken. So that's okay though. It is a, oh yeah, oh my god. Oh my god, there is a lot of rust in there. That is not a good sign. Yeah, that is completely just, okay. What about this side? What does this side look like? Oh, come on, there we go. Just as bad, okay, nice. Oh yeah, it's just disgusting in there. Okay. Well, good thing we're doing this, right? So the next step is to take off the cover for the S54. Like that is just, that's disgusting. You know, that's just rust. So thank God we're going in here. We'll definitely be cleaning all that up. Makes me want to take my intake apart now too and clean that all up and just go through here. I have pulled it apart and looked through here. There's a little bit of residual oil on the bottom, obviously from the transfer, but having rust in there is not a good sign. So I believe these are 10 mil. Let me check real quick. Yep, 10 mil acorn nuts. I like to do most things by hand, but fortunately I don't really have any of my power tools here, so it's gonna have to be by hand. I like to do both. So on this valve cover, maybe it's different or not, the two square styles are in the front, the acorns are in the back. So just so when you go to put it back, so now I will remove these by hand. They have a little washer. Yep, so there's washers on the actual better part of the head as well as down in the valve cover. So just be mindful when you go to take those out that you don't actually drop them. Maybe it is part of the valve cover. It looks like it's on top though, so yeah, just getting it with our fingertips. Okay. Pop the oil cap off. Slide that baby out nice and easy. Obviously this car has been worked on before and done stuff with. I bought it from one of my buddies as a previous owner. Cooking. Like actually cooking. Okay. Anyway. So they use zip ties to hold, looks like they broke the tabs or something. There used to be tabs here, or they didn't drop them in. I'm not sure what. This looks like they go into that piece here. So it doesn't look like they're broken. It looks like they just didn't put them back in because it's a pain to take out. I'm just guessing here. I'm really not sure exactly what they did. I do want to pop this off and inspect this. So we're going to do that real quick just because there was rust in there. Which is just never a good sign inside of a motor. And possibly just replace this part, maybe, depending on... I'll give you guys a good shot of that. I'm glad we're going in here and doing this, because look at that. That is just... That's carbon and oil and debris that's been in this motor. So, might as well take apart the airbox too. I don't have that special clamp for those things. I don't know how hard they'd be to put back on. They're kind of a bitch. I hate doing these. They're like the... So these clamps that are on the ITBs, these are like the style that you would run on a CV bolt or CV axle. You can get away with using to like tighten them up, I believe, not to take them apart. Oh, you could probably do both, but I like to use like a cutter's tool. A cutter tool likes to get like nice and flush in there and kind of pulls it to get it out of like the little locking lip that it has, and you can pop it off. So that's a way of doing it. Doing this because this is atrocious. I don't know if you can see really well in there. Let me get a flashlight for you guys. I mean, I can see it, but you know, you won't know what I'm talking about until I show you on camera. But yeah, like that is just, you know, there's just so much buildup of debris in there. So we're gonna take care of that. We're gonna get a new crossover pipe, probably take off the intake, clean out the airbox, and ITBs maybe potentially. I don't know. I don't want to get too far over my head, just because I am not a BMW mechanic. I'll make that very, very clear. I am a mechanic on a lot of stuff, so I know how certain systems work. BMW is a little bit different. I know that their electronics are really fucking willy-nilly on the car, so I don't particularly like to mess with things that I don't have a great understanding of. Car for the Vanos system, so it'll get a new coil pack. I'll be sending my old one out. It will be getting all new Teflon seals in here, all new O-rings. I got like the little hub spacer, like the thrust washers, I believe they're called. It might be thrust washers. So I got those. Pretty much everything else that comes in the kit I bought. I have the cam holder tool. The only thing I'm missing is a crank holder tool. Thankfully, okay. So another thing to be mindful of is down here, this is a 32mm socket. On some of them, they are a 4, I believe, eTorx socket, or maybe they're Allen's, one of the two. But anyway, you have to buy this like socket holder. It's got 4 holes in it that go over the screws, or for the bolts that lock in, so you can rotate your motor over. This is an older BMW, so it came with a 32mm socket. Luckily for that, I do have a big giant socket kit set that contains a 32, so I'm good there. This is the interior of the car. Very, very bad on the driver's seat. Passenger seats, eh. Door cards are pretty good. Back seat's pretty damn mint. So right now I'm gonna have to open the door. I always suck it. There we go. Taking this out. And we're just going to remove the negative battery terminal that's right here. So it is a 10mm socket, or you could use a wrench, whatever. I have the 10mm right here, so I will continue to use it from what you guys maybe can see. But I will be back in a little bit. I am going to look up the BSON system to remove the coil packs and everything else. I have an idea of how to do it, but I like to do things by the book. And then I will go to the hardware store and I will buy spark plugs as long as they have them in. We're back. Just got off the phone with the parts store for the spark plugs. They don't have the NGK iridiums, so that's what we're going to be putting in this car. They have a 1 copper one, but I need 6 of them obviously. So this looks like it's already been removed and are broken. No, it just slides in. Okay. So right now we're going to remove the cabin air filter assembly. The one's already popped out, so quarter turn pops, quarter turn pops. This is the cover for it. Okay, it just slides out like that. So it goes in between the seal here. So it goes in between here, this lip. Oh, there's a piece of plastic that was broken from something. Jeez Louise. Dirty side down, clean side up. And the next step is these Torx right here. So there's 4 of them, and then this whole assembly should pop out. So cool. So that is loose now. Just slides out like that. I'm just gonna probably about right there. I have never seen this style of connector, but it looks like you'd take a little pick on either side. And remove the O2s. I'm gonna be very gentle with this because I know how expensive these connectors can get. Pull that out. Perfect. Now that that's out, there is a bunch of wiring that is tucked. Some of that back on there because that was. And then there's like a little spring clip style thing. I'll show you that guys in a minute. But it just wants me to get it all out the room right there. So down here, there's this style. And then back here, there's a spring clip that all these wires get pinched into. Have it hooked up like that, maybe like that. This just pops out. Now this we're gonna take and cut. We'll put new zip ties back in place. Okay. So we slid that up. This is out of the way now. Now down here, here's the coil pack ground harness. It is this bolt right here. So coming up, if you look, there's a wire that protrudes off of here. That's the grounding cable. I believe it's a 13. So I'm gonna real quick remove that. In a little bit, I'm gonna have to swap batteries because I'm at like 30%. So I will do that. The next step, popping this out of the place real quick. Looks to be like little 10 mil bolts, maybe smaller. I've always liked, so my favorite part about these BMW is the way their coil packs are. So these up here are 8 mils. And I'll show the camera real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. These right here. So when you pop this off, you get a little bit more space. So there's one right here, one right here. And I don't know if there's any more in the back. Shouldn't have to remove this because this is that bracket assembly for the O2s that sit into, so it should be fine. Okay, now that this is out and away from the vehicle, oh, okay, that's where that line goes, okay. So, another modification that I'm going to make on this car, that line goes down, hits a hard 90, comes all the way over here, and comes up right there, it looks to be. Now that all this stuff's in the way, it's really hard to see, but right there. Goes into the valve cover. So we will have to remove that in a little bit. Kind of sucks that all this stuff just sits in here. It's not like other vehicles where you can just kind of like really move it off to the side because those wires go down. And I think around in the back side of the motor. So now, these I've heard are also kind of a bitch to get out. Looks like you just pry on them, take a little bit of a screwdriver. It says it takes some force to get them out. They're not terribly expensive, so I'm not really too worried if I like break one or something, but obviously you never want to break them. You know, it's never the ideal goal